Good morning, Mr. Murray. You beat me on here. It must have mean you're waiting for it. Good deal. Good morning, everybody. Jim Adkins here from Jim Adkins Results Coaching. And this is day 4 of our 6-day workshop regarding positive beliefs, or actually beliefs. Today is about positive beliefs. And throughout my workshops, in any videos that you ever watch me do, you probably hear me ask the question, who are you? And I ask it a lot because it's kind of an important question to ask yourself. And we do it all the time anyway. Even without knowing it, we're questioning who we are in every situation that takes place and every decision that we make. And we say that again, who are you? And you already asked the question. My wife told me to make sure my hat was straight. It's just old. It's getting tired. And every decision that you make and every situation that you find yourself in where you need to respond, if you're not sure who you are, you're not sure how to respond, and vice versa. Sometimes you're not sure how to respond, right, Cindy, because you're not sure who you are. This ties in directly with our beliefs. And remember, on day 1, actually before we even started this workshop, I reminded you that this is probably the most important workshop that you can do for yourself. For me, my beliefs are a very interesting, scientifically provocative, philosophical conundrum of wonder, because your beliefs shift and change as often as you help them. Okay. And when you do that, life shifts and changes with it. And I've been researching this forever. And inadvertently, I didn't set out as a 9-year-old to go, I'm going to research who people are and their belief systems. It just happened. And you know, they say hindsight is 20/20. Well, if you believe that you learn from your past, or you learn from hindsight, looking back and evaluating and analyzing, if that's your belief, it's going to happen. And if you believe you're the type of person that can take that, build it into something wonderful and share it, that's what's going to happen. So you see how this ties into your beliefs. Day 1, we talked about how to set up the 6 days, correct? What beliefs actually are. Day 2, we went into some of the ideas on other people's beliefs and what things we could do about that. And as we rolled into day 3 from day 2, I asked you to do a couple of things. I asked you to look at areas of your life that you were successful in, okay? And what beliefs were in place that empowered you? What do you have to believe to feel achieved or fulfilled or successful in those areas? And then I wanted you to look on the other side of that and decide, pick 2 or 3 areas where you didn't feel so complete or so successful, and write down your limiting beliefs. I'm not strong enough. I'm not young enough. I'm not old enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not, I've been waiting since 4:00. It is an awesome day. I was up early too this morning, Mr. Murray. So what are your limiting beliefs? And then yesterday, day 3, I actually read out a few limiting beliefs. And so that, you could kind of connect to, the simple verbiage of what a limiting belief might be. And I just went through a couple really quick. On day 3, I also mentioned that if you limit others, you do limit yourself. By putting stereotypical tags on other people, you really limit the growth of anything in your surroundings, or the ability to even connect with that type of person, or that person in general. You can use your intuition and your knowledge to examine others and behaviors and believe for you where they fit in. It's totally okay. And let me tell you this, whatever you believe, and I'm gonna take away the pressure here real quick, is okay, unless you, not me, you or anybody else that matter, unless you feel they don't serve you. Let me repeat that for you. You can believe, I'm giving you permission to believe anything you want about yourself and others. You really can. That's okay. In my world, I hope that people would believe the best about people. That's me. And I would hope that people act in accordance to that. Now, we all know that certain people just can't get it together, but that's not my belief. That's a truth, right? And I don't tag anybody until they prove to me that that's the person they want to be at that moment. So your beliefs are yours, and you're allowed to believe anything you want as long as I can't. I'm sorry, I cannot limit your beliefs, but I would hope that whatever you believe empowers you. I would think if it didn't empower you, you might want to change it, but I'm not going to put that on you. Okay. I'm not. I can't. I shouldn't. Should, right? There you go. So whatever you believe, believe it, but believe it strongly and know that when you believe it, it's your truth. I tell this to people, and I said it the other day, and it's a hard one to grasp because of the words that are behind the idea. Listen to the words, then try to figure out the idea, okay? The words are what you tell yourself up here. Your subconscious does not know the difference between the truth and a lie. Now, because of the words, it's hard to grasp that idea because you automatically say, no, I know the difference between the truth and lie. The truth is the truth, always the truth. Well, that's true. Okay. Sometimes. But when you consistently tell yourself, man, I'm not good enough, that's a lie. Okay. It's a lie that you're telling yourself. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve this. Well, let's see stuff. Okay. um, I'm not worthy. Um, and within, as a philosopher, I'm going to do this to you. Within the lie that you're not worthy may be the truth that you don't feel like you've done enough to achieve it. So add the word yet to everything. I'm not worthy yet. I'm not strong enough yet. If these are important goals for you and you want to achieve them, never limit yourself by applying a solid belief that you cannot do it. Does that make sense? I had two conversations. Well, I've had more than two in the past, but recently, as we do this workshop, you have to excuse my squirming. I believe I pulled muscles in my back recently. it's a little uncomfortable, so I should probably just be standing up, but or sitting on a ball. Anyway, where was I? The conversations I had recently, and it's amazing because as we do this, the reticular activating system, the universe brings you people that need it. And I had two people recently tell me they didn't feel worthy, or worthy, no self-worth. One even went as far as to say, I'm not worthy of living. And it floored me. I'm sure there are people that feel that way, but it didn't, it doesn't, worthy of living. Of course, my first question is, what does it feel like to be worthy of living? If you don't know, how do you know that you're not worthy? So for me to help people that have those beliefs, I always resort back to what we're talking about. Who are you? And how do you respond to that? I know how I'm going to respond to it because I know who I am at times, mostly, for the most part, right? So who are you? Because the most powerful driving force in the human psychology is the need to be consistent and act consistently with who we are or who we think we are. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. I wrote it down so I didn't say it wrong because it's scientifically proven that the most powerful driving force in the human psyche is that we need to remain consistent with who we define ourselves as, who we think we are. That consistency gives us comfort. So if you've ever been in a situation where you couldn't define or couldn't respond or responded and didn't feel right about your response, have you ever been there? You stutter, you stumble, you're not sure what to say. Somebody pushes you or puts you in a position of, hey, I've never been here before, and you know how you want to respond, but you just don't know how to respond. That's because you're not truly acting with who you are inside. Most people that are unhappy is because their belief system and who they think they are and what they're actually doing are not even. They're not lined up. Your life conditions don't match your blueprint. Here's an example. If you Oh, here's a great example, and I'm going to pick on people a little bit, not by name, but let me tell you this. This is something, I stole a lot of stuff from, I didn't steal it. I learned most of my stuff from Tony Robbins and his people. So I love using their analogies. And one of the analogies he uses for fitness or for belief systems is this: your body right now, your physical makeup, your body is a direct reflection of your standards, of your beliefs, not of your goals or hopes or wishes or dreams. Your body is not a reflection of anything other than your standards. You get what you think you deserve. If you believe that you're an athlete, your mind, your whole essence works every day to maintain that athletic prowess, that physique, that abundance of energy, that certain look. And when you are faced with obstacles or opportunities, you respond as an athlete. We all act in accordance with who we believe that we are. Did you hear that? So your beliefs, today's exercise, today's goal for me to you is to sit down at some point throughout the day, take time for yourself. You're all doing it already. I know this. And listen to those limiting beliefs about what you can't do that you tell yourself, the lies you tell yourself consistently. I'm too fat, or I don't have the time, or I've always been this way, or I'm too dumb. Or listen to those limiting beliefs, write them down and get rid of them. Now, when I was speaking to these people about their worthiness, their self-worth, it's not that easy to just tell them, "Oh, stop it, rub some dirt in it," right? They have to learn to redefine themselves and what they consider worthiness. And why would they even want to be worthy if it's somebody else who's putting the worth on them? So self-worth comes from a belief that you're good enough. Well, how do you know you're good enough if you can't define who you are in that situation and what the situation actually is? Don't feel worthy of living. I can't imagine. Now, we talked about where it could have come from. The paradigms that were set when you were a kid. Did you have to actually work for somebody's love? Did you have to actually, you know, fight to get attention? Did you, the self-worth that comes with unconditional love is incredible, parents. So, and Starno, how are you? So we all, as parents, try to do the best we can. The only time we can really write a instruction manual as a parent is after we're done being a parent, which is really never. Trust me, I have kids that are 30. You're always a parent. But as a young parent, you fumble, and remember when you do that your kid's future will need your attention as well. Doesn't mean you failed, but you, as a child, when you were a child, your parents did the best they could, but there might be some work that needs to be undone or redone regarding self-worth or your image of who you believe you are. You know that all of your beliefs about money, people, jobs, religion, foods that you like, those paradigms are all set when you were young by your parents and by your environment and by the people that you chose to believe. Because as a kid, you had no filters, right? You believed what was told. You remember Santa Claus? Santa Claus was real, right? It was a paradigm. It was a belief until it wasn't a belief anymore. Those were things that just grew and changed. If you locked onto a belief as a child here's one of mine, okay? I don't like liver. I can't eat liver, and I know why. And I don't like cooked spinach, and I know why. Cooked spinach for me has a texture that is associated with a negative time in my life throughout my growth. After my father died and the transition, all that stuff that was going on with my parents, and bless their hearts, they're wonderful people, but there were times when it was rough, and spinach is tied to that association. And I choose still to believe that cooked stringy spinach is just, you just can't do it, right? Liver's the same way. I was forced to eat liver at a young age. And I believe I was probably maybe 10, maybe 9, maybe 10. Um, New household, they ate liver. Stepdad and brothers and sisters ate liver. We're having liver. Liver sounded terrible to me. It just a liver. I got a liver. I didn't really associate that we were meat like cows, but a liver, yuck. And they put it on my plate and they made me eat it, forced me to eat liver. My belief is that liver, and it tasted terrible. Why? Because I believed it was going to. And to this day, yuck, right? So those are beliefs and paradigms that were set when I was young by the stimulation and situation that I was involved in. As I grew, I never chose to change them. It didn't seem to serve me. It doesn't matter one way or another to me. So as I grew up, every time I had the opportunity to try it or it was slipped past me, I reinforced the belief that no, yuck. And now it's my belief system about liver and spinach, cooked spinach. I'll eat raw spinach all day long. Okay. What beliefs do you have that are not empowering? Did you get rid of them? What empowering beliefs can you put in front of that? Let's read a couple of empowering beliefs. Now, I wrote these down off of a couple of different research pages that I did and a few books, but they're pretty bland. So I'll kind of give them my spin real quick. I'm in charge. So here's a belief, a verbal belief. These are all verbal cues that you can give yourself whenever you're feeling like you don't know, or you have a limiting belief come in. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. I'm not strong enough. No. Wait. Oh, here's a good one for I'm in charge. Let's say you work for somebody else. They are in charge of their company. They are in charge of the day-to-day management procedures that they want to take place. You are an employee who they hired to work those situations for them. But you are in charge of how you manage yourself in that situation. They don't own you. They are not in charge of you. Never, ever let anybody tell you or make you feel like they are in charge of you. They are in charge of the business. They are in charge of the day-to-day wantings and activities that they create, that they've built to have that business run functionably. And if you have been hired to do a job, they must trust you in one form or another. Do your job and know and say this to yourself: I'm in charge, not of them, of you and how you handle the situation. Get it? No. You can't make me feel this way. And you don't have to say that out loud, because some people have egos and you might get fired. And the consequences of that are trying to find another job in an economy where there are tons of jobs. I don't know who you want to talk to or how you feel about that, but just follow me on this. Don't go get yourself fired. But no, they are not in charge. Take control of your life. I am in charge. Know that. Okay, that's a very powerful one. Write that one down. Remember it. When it comes to food, tell that cake, I'm in charge. You're not in charge of me. No. Oops. Yummy cake, right? No. Okay. There's a lot of opportunity out there. There's another one that's positive. When you feel like you're failing, or you feel like you've come to the end of a situation, or like these people one of the people that I talked to yesterday, the situation was at their job where things were not as comfortable as they could be. And as we were talking, I wanted to talk, right? I had advice, but I listened. One of the things I was going to say and recommend was that find another opportunity. They came to the point themselves where they fixed it already themselves. All I had to do is let them talk, and they fixed it. But here's a good thing to do. If you feel out of control and you feel like your beliefs and you're being crushed, or things aren't as positive or as great as you think they could be, right, or should be, right, go find a better situation to put yourself in. I tell people this all the time. When you have a job that is miserable, that makes you feel like crap, you need to quit. You want to know how to fix it. Well, what if you love your job, or you feel responsible to the people that you work for? If that's the way you feel, and you're afraid to open your mouth and voice your opinion because you'll hurt people's feelings or you might get fired, go find another job. Stay with me for a minute. Go get another op lined up. Talk to somebody, read something, look online, apply, get a hook, get somebody that um, respects and wants you. And then with that power, knowing that you could walk into the job you have now and they could fire you today and you could turn around and go over here and have another opportunity to do what you do and love. That power, that freedom, that certainty that this is not all there is gives you the power to walk in and be honest and face a situation really with who you are. See how I spun that back around? Who are you in this situation? Most of the people I've talked to don't act in accordance with who they really are inside in the hopes that they don't rattle the cage, rock the boat, upset somebody, or lose their job. You close off who you truly are to play the game. Unhealthy, unhappy, unfulfilled. Stop it. Go find another opportunity. There are plenty out there. Then walk into the opportunity you currently have and tell them to fix it if they want to keep you. Listen, this is how it is. This is what I see. Take it for what it's worth. I'm unhappy in this current situation. And if it doesn't change because of the effect it's having on me, I will walk. The power in doing and knowing there are other things out there, that belief that there is absolutely something else out there for you and you can do this somewhere else is empowering. Do you follow me? People do that in relationships too. You'll see it all the time. You'll see a couple in a relationship and their belief is that they don't want to lose the person, not because it'll make them unhappy, but because financially they can't afford it, or it will hurt and destroy their children if they split up, or they don't know how to be alone, or all of these things. And then what will happen, and I'm not sure I recommend this for a relationship, I've got other cues, but this is what happens. Listen and follow me. One of them or both of them will go find somebody else to make them feel important. And I'm not talking about just a friend, because those friends that are waiting in the sidelines, especially of the opposite sex or of a demeanor that finds you attractive in one way or another, are not truly your friends. They're waiting to pounce, and you know it, and it has happened, and it will continue to happen as long as people don't pay attention to the love that they have for each other. Sometimes two people don't need to be together, and they use that other person on the outside to make them feel accomplished, to make them feel worthy, to make them feel beautiful, all the things they're not getting in this relationship. And once they have it here, it gives them the power here to say, look, I've had enough. See you later. It happens. I don't recommend it all the time. You cannot couples therapy as a carte blanche here. You can't. You have to, individuals, right? You have to take it that way. Job, I can do that because it's easy. If you're not happy at your job, find another opportunity, walk in and be honest. Got it? That was an empowering statement. There's always another opportunity. Always. Create it. Another one. I don't need the approval of others. This one I totally approve of. You don't need my approval, and you don't need other people to approve what you're doing. We fall into this trap consistently, constantly. I am not sure if I should do it. I'm not sure if everybody will like it. I can't be a public speaker. People will make fun of me. God, what will my parents say if they know I like this? My dad's always liked Ford, and I bought a Chevy, or I want to buy a Chevy, right? So we don't need the approval of others. Do your own research. Where does that come from? Where does the strength to do what you need to do based on what you think is right come from, and not worried about other people? Knowing who you are. I know. How the hell do we figure that out? Choose. Choose. Who do you want to be? If you were 8 years old right now, come on now, play along with me as an intelligent adult, but imagine you're 8 or 10 years old and you can play house or be anybody you want to be. My sister and I used to have a cafe in her bedroom, and it was Jill's Cafe when we were young. And I would go to Jill's Cafe, and guess what? I would walk in as Elvis Presley. 10 years old, 9 years old. I'm Elvis Presley. I remember 8 years old. Elvis Presley, I'd go in and I'd sing some songs in my sister Jill's cafe, and I'd sit down and have some soda with her. And she had, Mr. Snow Cone Maker, and she'd make us some snow cones. And she had the Easy Bake Oven and make us, I don't know what it was, but we would eat it. We would put these on, and I was Elvis. Who do you want to be today? Who are you? Oh, black belt, right? If you want to be Elvis Presley, how would Elvis don't do the drugs and the fat jokes and things like that? Come on, Elvis was really cool. If you want to be Elvis today, how would Elvis respond, baby, to situations when he's faced with Elvis? Think about his life. Who else? If you wanted to be President Obama or President Clinton, or have those characteristics of those people, put that hat on and try it today. I'm being, male gender here, but I don't know, pick a strong, empowering female, Nancy Bozick. If you guys wanted to be Nancy Bozick for a day, how would Nancy respond? You've heard the expression, what would Jesus do, right? You've seen the wristbands. What would Jesus do? I got kids in here. What would Sifu do? Parents tell their kids, they use Sifu, me, as a, what would Sifu say if he knew you were doing that? What would you do if you were Nancy Bozick? Let's say you're faced with a cake and Nancy's your trainer. Nancy Bozick, by the way, is one of my students and a very good friend of mine in Arizona. Personal trainer, fitness coach, black belt, 5th degree, I believe. I don't think she's 6th yet. Are you 6th yet? You should be. Anyway, put Nancy's hat on, look at that cake and go, if Nancy was here right now, what would he do? Would she eat that cake or stay on her diet? I know what she would want me to do. Does it make sense? Who are you? How do you discover who you are? You choose. We become ourselves in a spontaneous moment. When we're taken off guard or we're taken by surprise, the real us emerges. If you don't like what comes out at that moment, change it. Decide who you want to be and become that person. Okay, it's pretty easy. I'm going to have a workshop on that. And these workshops, these are action steps. People, don't just listen to me talk. I know you love to turn it on in the background, but take action steps. Write down what I'm asking you to do and make forward progress. Okay, here's a couple more real quick, and then I'll let you go. What others say about me is none of my business. You've heard that before. And if you like what I'm saying, click the like button. Yeah, it was a joke, but I do appreciate that. I'm free to be me. With the whole movement of gender neutrality, if that's the right statement, and I'll tell you what, the gay, lesbian community, what's that? The LG, I can't remember the acronym or the letters. I'm sorry. It's not disrespectful. It's just something I don't need to remember. But with that whole movement, I can tell you what, over the last 15 or 20 years of my teaching life, I have witnessed an abundance of people coming out. And what I mean by come, well, you know what it means to come out. And what I experience from that is people are giving themselves the right to be who they want to be and feel the way they want to feel. And in my opinion, there are, and I've said this before, there are extremists in everything, extremists in every group that take it too far and totally misunderstand what's really going on and go poof off the deep end and then push their deep end views on everybody. And that's not healthy for anything. And I mean that there's extremists in everything, in religion, in martial arts, in finance, and in love, and in this community type stuff and being yourself. When you push an agenda on somebody else just because you believe it to be true, and you put limitations and locks and laws, and this is how it's supposed to be if you want to be a part of this group, that's just nonsense. I am free to be me. And that means I am free to choose who I love, what I feel, what I say. And if I stumble and make a mistake and decide, okay, I did it, I said it years ago, and now this is me now, I'm allowed that. I'm allowed that. And so many people nowadays, you see it with the whole hurtful feelings bull crap. because somebody said something 20 years ago, they're disallowed by certain members of certain groups to continue their life in a positive direction today. Nonsense. Now, granted, there are probably people who won't change or don't want to change and still believe that and are hiding it. And I believe it's important to discover that, right? But you can't pigeonhole everybody. You can't. Let people be who they want to be and allow them to make a mistake and allow them to change. These are belief systems. When somebody reaches to change, do you scoff at them? Do you stop and go, no, no, I know that person. And 10 years ago, they treated me this way. And you disallow them the opportunity to change. I've got so many friends who've struggled with addiction. I was in the music business for a long time, so I know a lot of people. And it goes without saying that in rock and roll there were, you know, love and recreational goods and so on and so forth. But a lot of people get lost in that, and they found their identity in it. And then when they tried to change or grow, people didn't allow them that, and the belief in who they were an addict, or people told them they were an addict or treated them that way, and they found that spiral and they couldn't get out because not just they were trying, some of them, people wouldn't let them. And I can't judge either way, but I'm the guy that allows. I want you to be who you are. Don't lie to me about it. But if you're truly on a path, please go for it. All right, a couple more and I'm out of here. Life isn't perfect, but it is freaking good. So yeah, allow yourself to make mistakes. Life isn't perfect. You're not going to be perfect. And tell yourself this is a positive belief. It's not perfect, but it's really good. Now, if something's not perfect, does that mean it's terrible? No, there are many degrees of perfection and many degrees of terribleness. When it's not perfect, I don't want to go ahead. Think about that, though. People, if it's not perfect, it's ruined. No, that's not true. I don't know if you make a cake and it's not perfect, it's ruined. I've talked a lot about cake, haven't I? No more cake. All right. It's okay to have a down day. Okay, goes along with this. Life is not perfect. It's okay to have a bad day. In our goal or in our sessions, in our workshops here for improvement and self-improvement and goals and all this other wonderful stuff, is it okay to fall backwards on a daily basis? Well, not daily, but maybe once in a while. You're going to have an off day. Push through it the best you can. Don't ignore the positive factors that you want to achieve. Don't quit trying. But if it becomes frustrating, allow the frustration to move on. You get 90 seconds of stress that I will allow you. It's funny how I allow you, right? And then, boom, move past it and give yourself the room to have that bad day. Don't beat yourself up. It wasn't perfect, but it was a day. It was a great day. You lived, you survived. Let's move forward. Okay, very good. Raise your standards. You live who you are. I'm gone. That was 33 minutes. Day 4, positive beliefs today. Who are you? And when I say that, I want your action today is to pick the beliefs that empower you, pick some that don't, look at them honestly, and decide, are those beliefs that somebody like you think you are would have? Remember the other day I asked you, if you believe in something about yourself that you kind of maybe don't think is true, that's because you're not being your real self. How do you define your real self? You choose. How do you change who you are? It's in your DNA. No. Your characteristics might be DNA inherited. I'm talking about physical characteristics, health characteristics. Your personality is not an inherited, ingrained idea. It's not. Change it. Become the best you can be and love it. And if it's not good today, change it tomorrow. I believe in you. And I know you believe in yourself. All right. Have a wonderful day. Tomorrow will be Friday for me. That'll be day 5 of our workshop. and I will be on here about the same time. I'm an early riser. I believe that I just get up early and hit the ground running. Win the morning, win the day. I believe you can do it. On your mark. I love you. Get set.